Good evening, all. Uh, Hello. Good evening, all. Shall we start?
Yeah, good
Yeah,
evening,
go
sir.
ahead.
Good
Yeah,
evening.
good evening, Shall we can.
Okay, fine. So I'm just sharing my screen. Okay. Fine. So I think it's visible, right? My screen is visible.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
brother.
Yes, visible.
Okay, fine. So the topic for today we're gonna see regarding workflow. Okay. So how many of you know what is a workflow and how we can create a workflow, and then what in how many if the workflow is being created, can we change it later? Do anyone know what is a workflow?
Yes, I have a little idea of the.
Okay, okay. If so, can you please define it?
I cannot see any definition for that, but
Okay.
yes, it's a step-by-step approach for conserving data.
For conserving data. Okay.
It's a process of getting an approval wherein there's a step by step approach wherein there are approvers who actually will approve the workflow uh, or any kind of transaction that is made and workflow is used to approve that particular kind of transaction.
Exactly, exactly. You're right.
Correct.
So basically, workflow is a functionality that success factor has provided for organizations to approve. Okay, it is not only for approve; they can also decline. Okay, like they have the authority, they can approve it or they can decline it. Okay, so once we know that why, what is the use of a workflow, then I'm saying that for creating a workflow, you should have a permission. Okay, so for example, if you want to create a workflow, you should have a permission to create a workflow. So you need to check whether you have got the permission or not. So how we check that with the transaction of manage permission roles, right? So since I am acting as an admin, I'll be having all the permissions, right?
I think you are working on another screen. This is
No, 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 the same screen. Yes.
same screen. Okay, you
Yeah.
are typing something not visible.
Yeah. Now it's visible. Now it's
No,
visible.
we can see
No,
that
sir, we can't see, sir.
it's written good evening, my profile org chart.
Yeah, your screen is struck, Abdul bhai.
Okay, fine, fine.
Kind
Just
of dashboard we can see.
give me 1 minute. Give me 1 minute.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm resharing it. Okay. Yeah. So now it's visible, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay, fine. So as we are saying that, if you want to create a workflow, you should have a permission. So since I'm acting as admin, I'll be having all the permission to check whether you got the permission or not. You need to use this transaction. There is nothing but manage permission roles. Okay. So once you enter into this transaction, you will be directed to all the permissions that you have got. So here you need to select your role actually. Okay, as you can see that we have all the roles. Okay, like system admin, like whatever it's kind of a RVP. Okay, it's basically it's a RVP. I'm just showing you how to check whether you got the permission to create a workflow or not. Okay. So since I am in the system admin, I'll just go to check whether I have got the permission to create a workflow or not. Okay. So now it's loading. Okay. Usually it takes 5 to 6 seconds. Okay. Yeah. So once you open this, you just go to permissions, and now here just search workflow. Okay. With the help of control F. Okay. Yeah. So as you can see this, we have a manage workflow options. So I'm acting as admin, right? So I'll be having all the permissions. Like, I can do whatever I want with the workflows. Everyone is clear, right? So once we know how what are the permissions we have got, so now I'll show you how to create a workflow. Can anybody help me like how we can create a workflow, or else like can anybody tell me what is a workflow? Is it a foundation object or it is a MDF foundation object? What it is?
The foundation object.
It's a foundation object. Exactly. So for foundation object, we have a transaction called manage org. Okay. So it's a manage org pane job structures. So with the help of this, you can create a workflow. Okay. So now, as I've already told you that left side, okay, in your screen, whatever you can see on your left side, it is already available. Okay, available in the system. Okay, if you want to create a new thing, you should come to this place. Okay, so I basically want to create a workflow. Okay, so first I need to create a workflow here. Okay, so I'm selecting a workflow. I'm just creating a workflow. Okay, I'm just creating with the name of test 123. Okay, 123 is also already exist. Okay, fine. So we'll go with the 1234, right? Translations are not needed. Okay, like as I said you that it's a test system. We'll be having all the people who are working on this system. Okay, just give me 1 minute. It is not responding. Yeah. I have given all the translations and I have given the description as well. So you can see remaining days option here, right? So what does it mean? Okay, so in my class, I'll explain each and every point in this workflow. Okay, like I'll be explaining what is remaining days. I'll be explaining what is delegated support. If we select no, what will happen? If we select yes, then how the workflow will trigger. Okay, and what is an alternate workflow, and what is this option? Okay, how often we use in this real time and all. Okay, so for time being, I'm just adding it as a 2 days. Okay, it is nothing but okay, remaining days is used to help the next approver. Okay, if the approver, if the approver has taken 2 days. Okay, consider that you triggered one workflow today. Okay, and you have given 2 days here. Okay, so first approver have already given the approval, then it should go to second approver, right? So if it crosses 2 days after the first approval, if it crosses 2 days, after 2 days a reminder will go to the next approver saying that you have this action which is pending. You need to do an action whether you want to approve it or decline it. So that kind of reminding will be there if you use this option. Okay, so now I'll go with the delegate option. I think everyone knows what is a delegate mean, right? A delegate is nothing but for example, you are the direct manager. Okay, you are the direct manager for one employee. Consider that that employee has requested something. Okay, so though you are a direct manager, you think that your colleague is good at that, like he or she can make a decision on that. Okay, just give me one moment. Yeah, so sorry for that. If I go with this delegate supported, yes, it means that you are the direct manager for an employee. Okay, you have to approve it, but in some cases your colleagues are good at that topic, like they are in the office, like they know the topic very well. So that time what you'll do, they will delegate, you will delegate to your colleague. It's nothing but instead of you, your colleague can approve that. Okay, that also we can see. Okay, alternate workflow. Okay, alternate workflow is nothing but instead of this workflow, whatever the workflow that we are going to create, instead of this workflow, if this workflow will not, if it is not triggered, then what is the alternate workflow? It is nothing but it is also one of the workflow. Okay, if this workflow will, if this workflow is not triggered, then what is the alternate workflow that should trigger in place of this? Okay, and then redirect CC users to workflow approval page. Usually we don't use this. Okay, till now we haven't used this. I'll tell we'll touch this later. Okay, so now I have told you what is the workflow ID and what is the name. Okay, for time being I'm adding the same ID, name and description. I'm adding the same. Okay, so now here, as you can see, approver type. Okay, So if I click this drop down, we have role, dynamic group, position relationship. Okay. So here, if you select role, if you see the adjacent side to approver type, we have a approver role. Okay, what does it mean? Actually, if you select the role, the approval role will be like, whatever which is available in the system. Okay, for example, if I select role, okay, if I select role here and if I select manager here, it means that this workflow will trigger to his direct manager. Okay, and then if I select self, okay, then what is the use of workflow? Self is nothing but again the workflow is coming to you, you have to approve it. So there is no use that, there is no use that we select this option self here in this step one. Okay, so we have got different roles: manager's manager, employee HR, matrix manager. So one thing I need to clarify. The other day some person asked me like, do we have matrix manager in workflow? Yes brother, we have matrix manager. Okay, so you just make it as, we have the matrix manager in workflow. Okay, and then we have custom manager, we have second manager. So basically these are all the rules which are available in the system. Okay, so you may ask me like, if I want to these are actually available in the system which is configured. Like for example, if I take one employee, okay, if I take one employee called Richard, okay, if I take one employee called Richard, so if I go with this profile, we'll be having a direct manager. Okay, so now we'll check whether we have got. So I'm just going to job information, and now I'm checking whether this person has got the direct manager or not. As you can see, we have a manager. Supervisor is nothing but a manager. Okay, so we have manager for Richard Redman. Okay, so similarly, if I select manager here, if I select role and manager here, this workflow should go to Rebecca. Okay, Rebecca Watts. Okay, now it's in my explanation, I'll explain you like how it goes to that exactly. Okay, and then source and target. Source and context. Context is nothing but source and target. This is very like, it happens very often. Like, we have two branches. Okay, where you want to send one employee on transfer. Okay, on transfer. So from the place where the employee is going, that manager becomes as a source manager, and from where the employee is actually going, like where he is getting into that office, that manager becomes as a target manager. Okay, and then when it comes to edit transaction, we have like, four options. We have no edit with route change, no edit edit without route change, edit attachments only. Like, I'll be showing each and everything this point in like, in my like detailed explanation. Okay, like if you select no edit, what you can do. Okay, once the workflow is completed, no one can edit this. Okay, once the workflow you created, once the workflow is triggered, you cannot edit this. Okay, so you have a case. Okay, you have a case that, you have selected a role and then you have selected a direct manager. That time that direct manager is not available, example. So what happens that time? So this workflow will not trigger, right? This workflow will not go further. So as a best practice, we'll go with this edit without route change. Like, you can change this single step. Okay, as you don't have this direct manager, you can change this single line, but you cannot change the route. Actually, this is the route, right? Step one, step two, contributors and role. So for that, as a best practice, we'll go with this. Okay, and no approver behavior. No approver behavior means like, as I told you that we have a remaining days too. Okay, and if the approver is not approving it. Okay, so what the workflow should do, like whether it whether it should go to second approver, or whether, like, stop the workflow, like, it shouldn't trigger for the second approver. So that kind of action we will enable or disable here. Okay, and days until auto approval. Auto approval, I said that, as for every 2 days, for the next approver, it gives you the notification. Okay, so after 4 days, again after like for two after 2 days it has given a notification. So again after 2 days it again gives you a notification. So it's like the requester, whoever is requested the workflow, he'll get irritated, like how many days they will take for this approval and all. So we have an option called auto approval also, like if you give a number like 6 or 7 days, if this approver is not approving or declining, automatically it goes to the step 2. Okay. And then we have an option called relationship to approver. So for this approver, whoever is the approver, what is the relationship? What is the relationship? Like we have an initiator and employee. Usually it should be employee. Initiator cannot be approver, right? Yeah. So it should be employee only. And what do we mean by respect permission? It's an RBP. It's an RBP. Okay, RBP is nothing but whether this approver has got the permission to approve it or not. That also we can cover. Even though we have created a workflow, we have triggered the workflow, we have to see, like if we want to restrict the approver with the help of RBP, then we have to select it as a no. Yes. And then workflow email configuration. Okay, so workflow email configuration is nothing but for for every workflow it will trigger a notification. Okay, so if you want to have a custom email, okay, custom email, like you want to add a custom email. Custom email is nothing but you want to add your own, like this is the important thing that you need to approve it. You have got only 2 days, like that. The mail that you want to create, that also you can create. Okay, so these are all the steps, okay, that you have to know while you create a workflow. And when it comes to the basically we have approver. Okay, we have a step 1, and the second thing is that contributors. Contributors are nothing but they can contribute in the workflow approval process, but they cannot approve or decline. They can only give a comment. Comment is nothing but, like they are in the loop. They are in the loop, they know what's going on. They know what's going on, but they cannot approve or disapprove. Okay, they cannot decline, they cannot approve, but they can give a comment, like okay, fine. So for example, this approver has approved. This contributor can tell that why you have approved this. Did you get the permission from the higher authority? Like like he can comment only. Okay, when it comes to CC role, CC role is nothing but you will get a notification, simple a notification that this workflow was triggered, this approver has approved, this thing has happened. It is just a notification that you will get, like a email. Okay, hope everyone is clear with these topics, right? So today I'll explain is delegate supported. Okay, is delegate supported. So consider that I have selected is delegated supported, yes. Okay, and remaining days I'll explain you tomorrow. For today I'll explain is delegate supported, yes. Okay, now what I'll do, I'll go with the dynamic role. Okay, I'll go with the dynamic role. Hope everyone knows how to create a dynamic role, right? So what is the difference between role and dynamic role then? In role we have a system. Okay, these are system values. If you select role, these are the system values, these are the direct values. Okay, if you are selecting role and if you are selecting manager, it is like direct manager. Okay, so if you want to add persons, okay, if you want to add some other people, so for that time we go with the dynamic role. Okay, so what we'll do, we'll go with the dynamic role then. Okay, first we'll create a dynamic role and then we will add the dynamic role to our workflow. Okay, so what is the transaction for creating a dynamic role? Again, manage organization, right? So the base object would be job information. Basically, we want to check we want to go with the job information. Base object is nothing but it's available in the manage business configuration. Okay, we want that to be from the job information. Okay, so now I have added the base object. Now what I'll do, simply I'll come here, and in the approver type it's already selected as a person. Here I'll select any of the random employee, like John. Okay, any employee, no issue. Okay, I have added an approver and I'm clicking on save. So our dynamic role is created. Okay, now what we'll do, we will take this dynamic role and we'll go back to our workflow. This is our workflow. Test 1, 2, 3, 4 is our workflow. So here I have selected dynamic role, and here I need to search. Okay, test 1, 2, 3, 4. Just now we have created this, right? So in this test 1, 2, 3, 4, who was the approver? This person, John Williams. Okay, John Williams was the person that we have added in our workflow. Okay, and in step 2, I'm going with another dynamic role. Okay, in another dynamic role, I have already created a dynamic role called test 1, 2, 3. Okay, test 1, 2, 3. Test 1, 2, 3. Another dynamic role. In this dynamic role, we have another employee. Okay, so now in the step 1, I have added approver type as a dynamic role, and that I have added a dynamic role. And then in the step 2, again dynamic role and approver role. And the contributor, I'm going with the manager. Okay, I'm going with the manager. Simply, if you want to go with the manager, then you have to select the manager here. Okay, and in the CISO role, you want that to come to you. Okay, you want to know the notification. So you are simply selecting self. It means that you will get the notification, as well as your manager will also get the notification. Okay, so now we have completed our workflow. Okay, so okay, fine. So it's a source, it's a edit without route change. Keep this workflow, and then yeah, respect permission, no. I'm not selecting anything. I don't want all these things. I want just, I have added a dynamic role that should not be, if it is, if it is editable, then only this step can be editable, not the entire workflow. Okay. So I have, I'm clicking on the save option. So now we have successfully created one workflow called test 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So once we create a workflow, what is the next step? We need to assign this workflow, right, to get to get triggered. Basically our intention is to change something. Okay, we want to know how the workflow will trigger. Okay, so for that, what we'll do, we need to go to manage business configuration, and what we'll do, consider that I have selected Richard Redman as our employee. Okay, and now I want to change one information which is already available. Okay, which is already available, I want to change. Consider that I want to change a personal information. Okay, so I'm just going here. Okay, for that you need to have a business rule, right? So now just going back to the business rule, I'll write a small business rule. Okay, for personal information change. Okay, so now I'm going to configure business rules, and I'm clicking here. Then I'm going with the basic, since my rule should be from different base objects, right? So I'm going with this. Okay, basically we use basic when our like whatever our requirement, if it is not matching with this above. Okay, if it is not related with position management, if it is not from the custom objects, if we want to use a custom object, then we should go with this rules for MDF base objects, right? So now I'm going with the basic. Okay, I'm adding it as personal info. Okay, personal info underscore rule. Okay, effective date. The other day I told you that effective date should always be 01/01/1900. Okay, what is this rule type? Okay, why you are creating this rule? We are creating to check whether our workflow is triggering or not. Okay, so basically what we are doing in the front end, we are changing some data. We are checking whether it will trigger a workflow or not. So in rule type, I have selected as a data change, and here in the base object, I'll select the personal information. Since we want to change the personal information, right? We want to change the personal information. So that's why I'm going with the personal information. Sorry. Personal information model. So I'm clicking continue, and then here you need to select, okay, what exactly you want. Okay, you want you have already you have got the values here. Okay, like in the middle name it is Richard, in the last name Redman, and in the first name we have Richard. Okay, if you see the last name, okay, it is Redman, right? So if you want to change this, so what you'll do, so for that you need to create a rule, right? What exactly you want to do. Then here you just go to personal information, and then what is the thing that you want to change? It's last name, right? Since last name is different, so here just go here, okay, select the last name, that's it. Okay, entire it will come. Okay, then if you see here, we have got like some options. Okay, like if you select here, we have a previous value. Okay, select this is equal to. So what exactly our condition? If someone changes, if this employee Richard Redman changes his last name, the manager should know. The manager should know, or whoever is in the workflow, they should know. They should know. They should approve it. Then only the changes will happen here. Otherwise, it will be Redman only. Okay, he want to change it, but if he go now, then the workflow won't trigger since we haven't added the business rule in the workflow, right? So I'm just going to the previous value, which is not equal to, right? It is not equal to the value of last name. Yes, and then here we need to select with the set message, which is web config. Okay, value to be equal to, here we need to add our workflow. What is the workflow? Test 1 2 3 4, right? Clear, right? Everyone is clear, right?
Yes, Abdul.
Yeah. Fine. So whatever the workflow that we have added, that we have created, you need to assign the workflow here in the business rule. Okay, so now we have successfully added the workflow in the business rule. Okay, now I am clicking on save. Okay, so now what we'll do, since we have created a business rule, it should assign to the business configuration, right? Basically, we want to change the personal information, so that's why we have created a rule regarding personal information. Taking the base object as a personal information model. So the third step would be, you need to go to the manage business configuration. I am in the manage business configuration only, so I'm just going to the personal info. Okay, and now here we need to assign that. Okay, as simple as that. So here you need to select what is the object that you are selected while you create a workflow business rule. Okay, so while creating a business rule, we have selected as personal information model. So here you need to select that, and then when that workflow should trigger. For example, if this person is changing his second name, okay, that time, like it's called as a validation. Like if he is adding, that time you want to trigger the workflow, or after adding he has to save, right? That time the workflow should trigger. So on save. Okay, for now, for time being, I am selecting on save, and now here you need to assign your created workflow, which is personal info rule. Okay. You see this, right? And then now I'm clicking on save option. So with this, what we have completed, we have completed our workflow. This is our workflow, and we have created a small business rule. Okay. And then we have assigned the business rule in manage business configuration, and that too in personal information. Okay. So now let's do our practice. Like, now we'll do one thing. Okay. Now what we'll do, just go, just check it. Okay. Yeah. So now we will edit this. Okay. We will edit this. What is the first name? Basically, we want to change the last name, right? Yeah. So the last name is Richard Redman. So we want to make it as a anything, any name, Ravi, like that, or any name. Okay. Harman. Okay, Harman. So we want to change the last name of this person. Okay. Since you can see this, when I'm clicking on save option, it will trigger a workflow. This is called a workflow. This is actually called a workflow. Here you can see how many participants are there for the workflow. So we have added John Williams in one dynamic rule. In one dynamic role, we have added John Williams. The other dynamic role, we have added John Parker. The contributors are Rebecca, and the CC is Rebecca and Richard Redman. Okay, Rebecca is the manager for this man, Richard. Okay, so if you want to like, approve or disapprove, you cannot approve and disapprove from here. Basically, it is triggered for whom? John Williams, right? John Williams and John Parker. So these are the two steps. Then only, the workflow should go to contributor, and then it will give you the notification for CC user. Okay, now what I'll do, I'm just confirming it. Okay, you just remember those names. Okay, and now what I'll do, just I'm stopping the share. Okay, 1 minute. I need to relog in that. I'm just logging, okay, logging with my credentials. That's it. Sorry for that. Actually, those are credentials, so that's why I stopped the sharing. Okay. Now I am into this duplicate tab. Okay, which is nothing but incognito. Okay. So now as we have as we know that we are trying to change the Redman's name. Okay. So we have clicked the confirm button. So now we need to check whether the workflow went for that person's or not. So for that, what we'll do, I am in the incognito mode. It means that it's another system. Okay. So now I'm proxying as Williams, right? Williams. Yeah, John Williams. Okay. Now I'll go to, I'm accessing as a John Williams. Now we'll see whether that workflow notification gets.
Brother, your screen is not visible.
Yeah, fine.
Yeah, it is struck. Abdul.
Fine. Now it's visible. Now it's visible.
Screen is visible, but we're not able to see that. I think you're trying to do it in incognito and it doesn't show it in incognito.
Yeah, it's in incognito, right?
Yeah,
Correction.
I think that screen is not showing.
Incognito screen is not showing, right?
Yeah, we can see the Richard Redman profile, but we can't see the incognito screen.
And okay, fine. We'll do one thing here only. We will do that. Okay. So now, okay, we have triggered the workflow for Richard Redman. Okay, who was the approver? So from here only, I'll just proxy to the William. Okay.
John William.
Yeah, John Williams. Just John Williams. Okay, I'm just proxying it as a John Williams, and we'll see whether that workflow notification went to John Williams or not. Whether like he can approve or disapprove. We'll see now. While you proxy it, it takes 2 to 3 seconds. Okay. William. Yeah. Now we are accessing at it as a John Williams, right? Super admin on behalf of Williams, right? So now see, like, whether this person has got the approval request or not. As you can see, we have got the it's a notification for this person, whether, he has to approve or disapprove. So simply we are going with the view details, okay? View details, and here he can approve or disapprove and send back an update also. Okay, these many options are there. So this is the reason why we selected delegate yes. While we were creating delegate option, okay, if we select no, then this option will not be there. Delegate option will not be there. Everyone see this, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Hello. Yes.
Yes. We can
Yeah.
see.
Yeah. So as I was explaining that, delegate option is also there, right? So simply he can give a comment. My colleague, my manager, or someone like, we will approve. Okay. So simply I'm selecting delegate option, and I am assigning some other person for this workflow. Okay. So I am
Can he delegate to anybody?
anybody, any employee. Just name an employee, you can delegate it.
He can delegate to his subordinate as well?
That I don't know, brother, because maybe it is for like the same position or the higher position. For example, he's a manager, he can delegate to his equals or the higher persons. He cannot obviously, maybe I'm not sure about it.
Okay, fine.
Fine. Okay, I'm delegating it as a Felix Brock. Okay, so I'm just sending, I'm delegating this. Okay, now we'll go to Felix Rock. Okay, now I'm becoming self, and then I'm proxying it as a Felix. Give me one moment, it's loading. Yeah, proxy now. Felix Brock. Okay, now we'll see like whether he get that notification or not. Yeah. So if you see here, okay, personal information change for Richard Redman. Okay, if you click on view details, you will have John Williams has asked you to approve the personal information change for Richard Redman. So this is how the delegate option works. Okay, actually, who has to approve this? This person has to approve this, but for some reason he is delegating to some other person, and now he can approve or decline, or even he can send it back. Okay, so now he is approving it. Okay, consider that he approved it. Okay, so one approval process has completed in our workflow. This first step is approved, and now what is the who is the next approver? The next approver is John Parker. Yeah, John Parker. He has approved, the first person has approved. So it should go to second approval, right? Yeah. So as you can see that I am accessing, I am proxying as a John Parker, okay, who is the next approver in our workflow, okay. So he's just, going and approving, okay. He sees that like what happened for this workflow. Actually, it was meant for this person instead of his, he has delegated to this person. So this person approved it, and now it came to this, actual participant of the workflow. So now, as you know, what is a delegate, right? So he can send it back. He can send it back. Okay, send it back is nothing but it should go to the first approver again, like for the confirmation and all. Okay, now what I'm doing, I'm just clicking on approve. Okay, basically I want to show you, when the workflow is approved, whether the changes will happen in the system or not. Okay, so now we have completed two steps: the first approver and the second approver, and the contributors. Okay, basically there is no, there is no there is no much needed for the contributors. Still we want to see, like, whether they get the notification or not. Like, I'm just going to this Richard Redman. First I'm becoming self. Okay, and then I'm going to this Richard Redman. Who was the manager for that person? Can anybody remember?
Rebecca.
Sorry,
Yes, Rebecca.
Rebecca. Okay, Rebecca, right? Yeah. Okay, fine, we'll see that. We are proxying as a Rebecca. Okay, okay, fine. Give me 1 minute. Give me 1 minute. We will get the approval. Okay. So basically this workflow, actually it goes to the manager, but now I cannot see that, this person has got the notification like that. Okay, now we'll check for the for self also. Like, if I am becoming Richard Redman, then what is the condition? We'll check that. And finally, I'll show you how it, reflects in the front end. Like, whether after approving, whether we got the changes in the front end or not. Okay, it's taking time. Just give me 10 seconds. Give me 1 second. Taking time. I'm accessing it as a Richard Redman, which is the employee for whom we are changing the personal information for which the workflow has triggered. Okay. Let him also maybe the contributors. Yeah. So like as you can see that these only these two steps were triggered. Okay. Like when it comes to contributors and when it comes to like notification should be there, right? So it is not triggered. I'll check this. I'll check this. Okay. And now I'll show you like whether those changes are happened or not. Okay. Now I'm just going to Richard Redman and we'll see whether that Redman changes into some other name that we have given, right? Whatever the name that we have given, we'll check that. Okay. Yeah. So as you can see that Redman is not available. Okay. We have added as Herman, right? Hello.
Yes, brother.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Yes,
Yes,
now
Abdullah,
showing
it
her.
Yeah.
changes.
Yeah. So initially it was like Redman, right? Last name was Redman, but we have added as a Herman. So this is how the workflow triggered when the approval happens. Okay. So the changes will happen in the front end. Okay. This is all about the workflow. I'll check why like this contributor and this self and manager is not triggered. I'll check this. Okay. I'll check this. And then if anyone have any doubt, they can ask. So
Brother, if you can just go to the workflow page where we define the workflow. Here, when you say edit, is it editing the workflow or is it editing the transaction?
no, no, no. It is not the transaction. We cannot touch the transaction. What you mean transaction by this, right? You mean
No,
transaction?
not the transaction. Like if say I have added say a change in address or something like that, that is the transaction that asked for a change. Say I want to
Okay.
edit an address. So I was like here it feels like the manager or the approver should be able to edit those contents or they should
No,
be
no,
able
no,
to edit the
no.
workflow.
No, no, no. What happens? Actually, we are creating these workflows for for whom, like, who can approve it. Like they are the management people. Okay. Once you use this success factors, you will be given this screen. Okay. So if you have a edit option here, okay, if the permission is given, okay, basically we have permissions called ESS, okay, employee self-service and manager self-service. Okay. If you have given the option that you can change your personal information, okay, even though you change it, someone has to approve it. Okay. They cannot edit that. They cannot edit your profile. They'll see like for example, you are working under one manager. Okay. For him, like he can access your profile but he cannot change, and that too limited, like whatever the permissions that has given to that manager's role. Okay. Basically what happens in an organization, okay, some approvals and all, like payment related approvals, okay, they will be limited to management
बोला
team
डाला तो
only,
हम
right?
डाला तो मत
Hello. Hello. Is
Someone
someone
has
saying
turned on their
something?
mic. No, someone I think has turned on their mic.
Hello. My voice is audible?
Yes, brother, please go ahead.
Yeah. So what I'm trying to tell you, they cannot edit anything. They cannot edit anything. If they edit also, it will be recorded. Like it is there as you saw in the workflow, right? Someone has initiated, okay, someone has given the comment, okay, someone has delegated. So all the record is there. Okay. So workflow is for the approvers only. Okay, they can edit it. If I'm selecting edit option, they can select who is there in the approval, who is there in the approver.
Okay, because there is one value in the drop down that gives attachment.
Yeah, just give me
So
give me one. Yeah. So we have four options here. Okay, we have no edit, edit with root change, edit without root change, edit attachments only. Attachments means like For example, for some workflows, okay, basically it is useful when we are creating a custom object, okay. So if you are creating a custom object, okay, so here you consider that in one of the field we have an attachment, okay, we have an attachment which is mandatory, okay, which is mandatory to approve it. Example, someone is applying for emergency, any medical leave, okay, any medical leave. For those reasons, he has to submit the related documents, right? So if you are using that kind of workflow, then this option we use, okay. Basically for the standard, this is a standard field, right? Personal information is a standard field which is available in this HRIS elements, okay. So for that we are using only either these options like no edit, edit with route change, edit without route change. So basically till now I have used this only, edit without route change. It means that you can edit this, but not the entire workflow. Whatever the workflow, that it should go to the same, like once it is created, it will be go like that.
Okay.
Yeah. So you are clear, right? You are clear, right?
Yes, brother.
Yes, thank you. So anyone have any doubt?
Yeah, Abdullah bhai, regarding the practice only, how can we practice if we don't get the videos? So
Okay,
you are
fine.
shown this.
Exactly. So
We need
who
to
is this?
practical this now, Muhammad Ghaus.
Fine. Actually, what happens is like Ghani, you know Ghani, right? Ghani,
Yes.
Abdul Ghani. So actually, he has given me like if you have time that you can go ahead. But I don't know who is hosting and all. I'm just joined and I'm just giving the sessions. That's it. But who is the host? I don't know who is the host actually. Yeah. So that's the reason I cannot share that.
No, you cannot share, but you have any other solution? So how can we practice this?
Yes.
Brother Abdullah, we have
Yes.
taken access for SAP server also.
Yeah. Yes. Abdul Ghani
So-
said that. Abdul Ghani said that. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in fact, I don't know with everyone, but it's a challenge for me. I'm not able to log in into that. I mean, I'm accessing that server, but where to log in, where to do practice and all, I am not able to find that. So I just need a help on that.
Simple, very simple. Okay, from whomever you have taken that those credentials, right? Basically, we'll have company ID, right? Company ID and username and password. That's it. 3 things.
We have everything. We can able to log in, but how to practice it? That is the question.
Okay, fine.
And
So
some
from my
like
end, yeah.
reference notes are also needed so that we can read out and do some practice and all.
I'll do one thing.
Brother, that was already given by Brother Gani. There was one document that he had shared.
PDF. Yeah. Okay, I got it.
Okay, fine. If you people need like separate documents for each and every topic, that I can share, no issue. But regarding this recording and all, I have no idea, like where this.
That's why I told any other solution you have. This
Yes,
instead
exactly.
of recordings, any other
Yeah.
solutions, we go for that. No problem.
Yeah,
The main thing is that we need practice.
exactly. You need to practice. Yes. So okay, I'll just find a workaround.
So I brother Abdullah, you just said, I guess the solution you have already given, that if you have, like you taught this workflow topic and if you have a document for it, so
Okay.
you can send it to us, we can study it and we can practice also.
But one thing, you have to practice a lot. You have to practice a lot. But if you are saying that you have hands-on, it means that you need to practice a lot. Okay. So for that you need to access it. Fine. I'll talk to Ghani once. Okay. Like even I don't know who is the host. Okay. If I'm able to know who is the host, he might be having the recorded files, right? So I can share with them. Yeah. So I'll be sharing each and every topic, inshallah. If I, whatever the topic that I gonna cover, I'll share that. Okay, after the session. Okay.
Brother,
So
there's more on workflow that you'll be covering, or this was it?
Actually, what I thought, I need to tell each and everything. But telling is not the only thing. actually.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Telling is not only the thing. We need to
Yeah.
practice.
So for example, in like, we have seen is delegate option yes now. Okay. So now you people need to practice with no option. Okay. You need to see if you are going with no, what's happening. Okay. Whether we are able to get this delegate option there or not. Okay. Likewise, you need to practice. So positive and negative. Okay. So you need to think in that way. So as you see that, remaining days only 2, right? So what if, what if this, days until auto approval, if it is not given, so then what happens? It keep on, it keep on giving the notification for that person for every 2 days till he approve or decline. Get the point? So you need to do the hands-on. Okay. And one more thing, how many of you are know what is a success factor? Like, what is the basic, right? What is the basic? How, what is the arc structure? Okay, as in today's class, we have seen one business rule and manage business configuration. It is the heart of employee central. Okay, it is the heart of employee central. Then, like, everyone knows the basics, right? I know some people who know basics, but what about the rest? Like, do you, like, are you going through any videos or something? Do anyone like that? Hello.
So like basics means like, are you asking like, what are the components of like success factor, the succession data model, and
Exactly.
so corporate data model and all these things?
Yeah. No. What I'm asking you, like, for
Mhm.
example, if someone asks you, what is the use of a dynamic role? Okay, like, these are the basics, right? We know how to create a dynamic role. Then, what is the use of a dynamic role? When you have a role, right? You have a role. Then, what is the use of dynamic role? Okay, if dynamic role, then what is the use of dynamic group? So we have position also, right? So what is the use of position here? So for every topic, we have, we have lot things to learn, right?
These
And
are the
Yes, sir.
subtopics. These are the subtopics, but we
yeah,
don't. Yeah, we don't see the basic success factor. Okay,
yeah,
we know
yeah,
the
yeah.
basics of success factor.
Okay, fine,
What
fine.
is employee central? What includes in that? We know that.
Okay, fine. So basically, you people don't know like how it is, configured.
Yeah,
Okay, how
yeah.
it
No,
is
sir. No,
configured.
sir. We don't know.
Okay, fine. Then I'll just talk to Ani once, okay, and I'll just find a solution for this recording also, okay. In the next class, inshallah, tomorrow,
Okay, thank you.
I'll find a solution.
Jazakallah khair.
Jazakallah. So, anyone have any doubt regarding workflow?
No.
No, right? Fine.
Sir, I have.
Okay,
Today,
fine.
if
Go
you
on.
ask today, maybe some has a doubt, but if you ask tomorrow,
Then
so
okay.
then nobody will have the answer for this.
Okay, fine. Sister, someone was saying that something, right?
Yes, Kiran this side, sir.
Okay, fine. If you have any doubt, you can ask.
Sir, honestly, if I'll tell you now, it's everything is like, it's rounding in my mind. Okay, what we
Okay.
have done in the first foundation object, then
Okay.
workflow, then we went to you're acting as an admin and then manage permission roles. It's all the things are, it's a jumble in my mind.
Okay, fine. So actually, what I'll give you like what exactly we did today. So
Mhm.
basically, our agenda was to create a workflow. Okay. So for that, we came to this manage organization paying job structures. It's a transaction. Okay. So while you create a workflow, you have to select these options. These are, it is not mandatory. Okay. It's not mandatory. Red asterisk is not available. It is available only for workflow ID. Okay, whatever you see the red asterisk, which is that is mandatory. Okay, so you may be asked, like, even we have red asterisk here, but it becomes mandatory when we select this. Okay, so if I am selecting this, it becomes mandatory. These two becomes mandatory. Okay, so contributor is also one of the mandatory thing. So as we are filling the mandatory, and these are our convenience. Okay, whether we have the delegate option or not, these are all our convenience. Like, when you want to get the reminder, like, you have a approval, you have to approve it, like that the reminder should be there, right? So for how many days you want. So after giving all the values, simply we have clicked the save option and the workflow gets saved. So what is the next step? After creating a workflow, it should be assigned to the business rule, right? So we cannot simply assign the workflow to employee's profile. We cannot, we cannot assign the workflow here. So if the changes should happen here, it should go through the business rule. Okay, so for that we have created a business rule. It's a small business rule. Okay, it's a very, very small business rule that we have created for today. Like what I have selected here, I have selected the personal information model previous value. Previous value was what? Redman, right? It was a previous value.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So if it is not equal to the actual value, okay, if it is not equal to the actual value, so then it should trigger a workflow. So this is our workflow that we have created. And then what we did after creating this business rule, you need to assign to the particular field, right? For what you're doing. So for that, we went to personal information. Tell me why we are going to the personal information? Because
It
we
was
have, yeah, we want
last
to
name
change.
change.
Exactly. We want to change the personal information. That's why we
Yes,
went to
yes.
this. And after coming to this, we have one option called like, you need to go with the make action, take action, make correction, and then come down. Okay. If you're coming
Okay.
down, you need to assign the created business rule. Okay. So for that, the first step would be you need to, you need to first select the base object, whatever the base object that you have selected while you are creating a business rule. Okay. So you have added this and you need to assign the workflow. And after clicking this, after saving this, you need to come to this whatever the employee that you want to change. Simply you are trying. Okay. And you are changing that. So when you are changing it, so again we'll do. Okay. When I'm trying to change the last name, so now I'll give you any name. Okay. Like mm,
Taylor, sir, Taylor.
Taylor, fine. Okay. Taylor. Okay, fine. So now we have given a Taylor. Okay. Now I'm clicking the save option. Since the workflow is there, okay, it will keep on giving you. Okay. And it is nothing but the workflow triggered. Okay. So
Mm.
it's not saved, right? So these people should approve. Then only that Taylor should be available in the
Last
employee's
name.
profile. Yeah, employee's profile. So this is how the the workflow triggers and the approver has to approve it, and finally those changes will be available,
Reflected.
available in the employee profile. Okay, basically this exactly we have done today. Okay, so okay, fine. I think anyone have any doubts? I have 5 minutes more.
One question.
Okay.
Okay. Now, suppose employee triggered the change and he want to cancel by himself. Is it possible?
Sorry, come again, come again.
I mean, the user requested a change. Like, for
Okay.
example, here change of his last name.
Okay,
Then he want to cancel it. He don't want to change. He change his mind. Then how can he
exactly.
stop the workflow?
Yeah, he can withdraw it. He can withdraw it. Now I'll show you. Okay, I'm just showing show you with this name only. Okay, so I'm clicking, I want Taylor, right? So I'm just going with the Taylor name. Okay, when I'm selecting on this, the workflow triggered. Okay, so I'm clicking confirm. Okay, you know that the workflow is triggered. Okay, if you go to
Right.
one of the one of the approvers, it will be there in their profile. Okay, so now what you
Right,
thought,
right.
you have changed your mind. Simply you need to come this. Okay, it will be there till the approval happens. Okay, simply you can just withdraw it. That's it.
Uh-huh.
That's
Okay.
it. You have changed your mind, right? So we have a facility. Yeah.
And
So
another question, like
yes,
how many levels of approvals we can take up here? I see only step one and step two here.
as many as you can, as many as you can, because in some organizations, like we have created for 5 to 6 approvals, like step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, step 5, like that.
But here
Yeah.
I see only step one and step two. So you can create step three, step four as well.
Yeah, we can create it. Simply you just go to this workflow which is already there. You can just
Okay.
select the role. Okay, whether it's a role, dynamic role. Okay, dynamic role, if anything is possible. So
Got it, got it.
if you are filling this, automatically the next will come. Okay,
Okay, understand.
give me 1 minute. Okay, I have selected the dynamic group. Okay, SVIT. department. Now you can see step 4 is coming, right? So if I am selecting step 4, step 5 will come. See here.
Okay. Yeah,
So likewise,
understand.
as many as you, but as a best practice, we suggest the client that go with the 3 or 4 level of approvals. Okay. Basically, what happens in the organization, if the approvers are many, it will take some time. Okay. Till this person will be waiting. Okay.
Yeah,
He has to
Sure.
wait for more days, right? Yeah. So
understand.
basically, we suggest the client that go with the 4 or 3 or 4. Okay. Basically, we go with the 3 only. Okay. So 4 and 5, if the client wants, then we'll go. Yeah. So I think today's topic is clear, right?
Yes,
Yes,
brother.
brother.
Yes.
Thanks.
So
brother.
I'll just find a workaround regarding that recording and as well as the documents. I'll be sharing. Okay, inshallah. Okay. Then we'll stop this. And
Yeah,
if,
okay,
if
document.
if anyone have any doubt, they can ask in that. We have a common group, right? We have a group in the WhatsApp, right?
Yes, we have. We can
Yeah. So if it is like, if you're not getting things, like if you're not understanding, okay, if you're stuck somewhere, you can ask there, okay? If if I have a time, then definitely I'll give the reply, okay? Yeah. Okay then. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
very
brother. Thank you.
much. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.